Ambulance Authority held its first meeting this morning at the Wood County 911 Center. Our LV Hissam has more on their first meeting.
The inaugural meeting of the Wood County Ambulance Authority acted as an organizational meeting, during which members of the Ambulance Authority voted on their officers, established goals, and began the process of allocating where to begin with their duties. All of this being done with the best interests of the ambulances and those that they help.
We wanted to make sure that we had an understanding of a direction. The commission gave us a direction today of what we needed to do, and we wanted to make sure that we were capable of being organized and being able to handle that.
Newly appointed Secretary of the Ambulance Authority and Deputy Director of the Wood County 911 Center, Dale McEwen, says they will be taking the time to research during this organizational period.
Well, I think we really decided that we need to do a lot of research into how many calls are emergency calls, how many calls are just transport calls, and that we need to dissect that and make sure that we have the ability to provide those type of services in a large scale that we're going to have here.
McEwen says that while the Ambulance Authority is still in its growing stage, it doesn't negate the fact that they have the best interests in mind for the citizens of Wood County.
I think the members of the board are extremely qualified to make these decisions, and I think they have the best interests of the citizens of Wood County in mind. And I think that we are going to have a successful board, but it's going to take a little bit.
In Parkersburg, LV Hissam for WTAP News.